Today's story is about two best friends who have known each other since childhood. Their friendship was so deep that they used to share every small and big thing with each other openly. But there was one thing that kept beating in their hearts, that they loved each other so much. But they never dared to express it. Because of this fear that their friendship would not break. And because of this misunderstanding, they took some decisions that make their lives even more difficult. So hello friends. And the story begins by showing Rosie, who was looking sad in a wedding. This wedding was of her best friend Alex. And everyone present there asks her to give a speech. So she stands up and says, "This is one of the most beautiful days of my life. Because today is the wedding of my best friend." Saying this, the story goes into a flashback, where the scenes of Rosie and Alex's childhood are shown. Both were neighbors and spent most of the time together, studying together in school, having fun, and sharing their dreams with each other. Assume that their friendship was no less than a story. Alex used to have strange dreams, which he used to share only with Rosie. Time passed and both grew up together. Then the scene shifts to Rosie's birthday party, where she is now 18 years old. All of them were dancing in the party. Rosie and Alex were also having fun with everyone else. But in the midst of this fun, they suddenly come so close that they start kissing each other without thinking. But Rosie suddenly falls unconscious. The next morning when her eyes opened at home, Alex was already present there. So Rosie asks her, "How did we come home last night? We were both completely drunk and I had fallen." Alex says, "My mom brought us." Hearing this, Rosie says, "I was so drunk last night that I don't know what I did." She is feeling shy thinking about it. "I wish we could forget the memories of last night forever." Hearing this, Alex feels that maybe Rosie is feeling shy about that kiss. And she just wants to be friends. After this, both go to the beach, where the school's most handsome boy Greg asks Rosie to come with him to the prom party. But Rosie refuses, because her plan was to go with Alex. But Alex says, "If you don't mind, I want to go with Bethany." Bethany actually studies in her class. And she also likes Alex. Hearing this, Rosie's face is slightly reddened. And she says, "I want to go with Alex." But Rosie is disappointed, because she wanted to go to the party with Alex. But she smiles and says, "It's okay. Go and don't worry about me. I will talk to Greg again. And he will agree." But they had no idea how this decision was going to change their lives. Then in the evening, we see that Alex goes to Rosie's house, where both of them are getting ready for the party while having fun. Then the story shifts to the prom party, where everyone was dancing happily. Alex and Bethany were with each other, while Rosie and Greg were with each other. But Rosie comes a little closer to Greg, and both of them go to a room where they are going to be intimate. Rosie had no idea how big of a mistake she was making. It was the first time for both of them. That's why they were getting very nervous. And because of this nervousness, Greg does a big stupid thing. Seeing this, Rosie gets scared. She immediately calls Alex. The music was playing at the party. That's why she went to the elevator and put her earphones on. And she said, "I want to go to the party. I want to go to the party." And she starts telling the whole story in a loud voice. Alex listens to this and takes her to the doctor without delay. Everything seems normal there, which gives Rosie some relief. Now after getting checked up by the doctor, both of them return home by car. Alex says, "We should go somewhere far from here. My dad also wanted me to go to Harvard University and do a course in hotel management." Rosie agrees with this, because both of them had the same dream since childhood. And Rosie also had the dream of opening a hotel of her own. But when she tells this to her parents are shocked. They are shocked. But then suddenly she gets upset. She gets very scared and immediately goes to a medical shop to buy a test kit. And after testing there, she finds out that she is pregnant. She was already in doubt because of Greg's foolishness. And now this positive report was like a shock for her. Then she messages Alex that I have to talk to you about something important. Please meet me now. But Alex says I am going to dinner with Bethany's parents. Then we will talk together sometime. On this, Rosie gets even more upset and starts crying. The next day, Alex's scholarship letter also arrives. And he happily comes to Rosie and says, now we both will go to Harvard together. Rosie says with a slight smile, it's good that you have come too. But you go first. I have to do some important work here. I will come later. Alex also agrees because he was sure that Rosie will come soon. But Rosie's heart was something else. Then that day also arrives when Alex was leaving for Harvard. Both of them say an emotional goodbye. They start sharing their feelings. For Alex, this goodbye was not so special because he was feeling that Rosie would also reach there in a few days. But Rosie's heart was very sad because she knew that now everything was going to change. Now after saying goodbye to Alex, Rosie meets that shop owner Ruby, who had recently become her friend. Rosie had already told her about her pregnancy. So Ruby says, if you want, you can get an abortion and go with Alex. Rosie says, no, my parents are Catholic and for them, being a mother is a very sacred thing. I can't do this. Ruby says, then you can do this. Give this child to some needy parents after a few months, who really need a child, and then go out to study. Rosie starts thinking about this, that maybe this is the right way for her. After this, Rosie spends her coming months with all her love and care. And then that special day also arrives, when a little fairy is born in her house. Seeing her lovely, innocent smile, Rosie's heart melts. And she decides that now she will not give this child to anyone else. Finally, she decides to adopt her as her daughter. And she keeps her name, Katie. Now for Rosie, the only purpose of her life was to become Katie's best mother. But it was not that easy. It was no less than a challenge to adopt a child as a single mother. On top of that, Greg, Katie's father, had disappeared upon hearing all this. Rosie had to face all the difficulties for her daughter. Then after a few months, one day Rosie is taking her daughter for a walk, when suddenly she sees Bethany. Rosie looks at Katie and tries to hide it. But Bethany had already seen her. And as soon as she sees Katie, she understands that she is Rosie's daughter. Even though Bethany and Alex's relationship was over now, but she sends this news to Alex. After a few days, Alex suddenly comes to Rosie's house to meet her. Rosie gets scared to see him and tries to hide Katie's things quickly. But Alex had already known this. He asks Rosie, why didn't you tell me all this before? Rosie says, if I had told you, you would have stopped your dreams for me. And you would have never gone to Harvard to study. I didn't want your dream to break because of me. Alex asks with a deep breath, where is his father? Rosie says, as soon as Greg found out about the child, he ran away. Then Alex says, can I be Katie's godfather? This was a very happy thing for Rosie. That day, Rosie and Alex go to the beach and talk a lot. Rosie says, I never wanted you to know about this. Because you are the only person who has always seen me the way I am. Our dreams were the same, but now I have changed. And you too have known this. Both of them are very emotional about this. After a few days, then both of them start dating each other. But despite all this, Alex is always in touch with Rosie and Katie. He keeps sending Katie lovely gifts. And Rosie keeps telling him every small and big thing about her daughter. During this time, Rosie also gets a job in a hotel, due to which her life slowly begins to get better. Time passes. And as soon as you see, 5 years pass. And Katie was also now quite old. On the other hand, Alex and Sally were now completely together. But their relationship was slowly becoming weak. Now they started fighting over small things. And it seemed that they were not happy with each other. Here, Rosie stays with him every time to keep her daughter happy, so that she doesn't feel the lack of her father. Then one day she gets a message from Alex. "Rosie, I am missing you a lot. Can you come to Boston?" Rosie becomes very happy about this, because it had been a long time since she met Alex. So without time, she takes Katie as a witness. She immediately takes the next flight and reaches Boston. As soon as they meet at the airport, they ask the same question. And the old happiness comes back to them. Like before, they start having a lot of fun again. They party all night and dance. And they enjoy each other's company a lot. And in those moments, both of them start living their old memories again. Then the next day, while wandering like this, they reach the same university, where studying used to be Rosie's dream. But now she was not sorry about the fact that she had left her studies to give birth to Katie. She tells Alex that Katie is really a very cute girl. And the most important thing is that she will never forget Greg. Also, there is a lot of talk. And the more they talk about, the closer they get. And Rosie is about to kiss Alex. But Alex says, "Maybe we should go now, it's getting late." Then Alex brings Rosie to his house for dinner in the evening. Everyone is present at the dinner table. And Sally's brother, Phil, was with them. Everything was going well. But Rosie finds out that Sally is pregnant. Seeing this, Rosie is shocked, because Alex had hidden such a big secret from her. But then there was a fight between Alex and Sally. And then they start arguing. And Sally drops the whole dinner in anger. But then she says to take care of the atmosphere. "No problem. Anyway, we have booked a ticket for an exhibition." All the exhibitions reach the next scene. But that place is boring for both Alex and Rosie. Alex could not leave Sally alone there. So Rosie quietly comes out of there. When Alex sees her, he also follows her. So Rosie turns to him in anger and says, "You didn't even tell me that Sally is pregnant. I think there are a lot of problems between you and her." And in anger, she even says that you are just showing off to be with the older people here. Actually, you are in a lot of pain. And you are also refusing to believe it. Alex also gets very angry hearing his strange things. And he says, "Have you ever thought about your own life? You may be jealous of my big house, beautiful wife, and my lifestyle here. I am more happy here than you. And yes, I am going to have a child, who will have a mother and a father. Not just one." Hearing this, Rosie's heart broke. And she leaves in anger and says, "When everything is over, don't come back to me crying." After this, Rosie comes back and shifts to a new house, where only she and Katie live now. Rosie sits at home. There she finds a drawing of Katie, in which a whole family is made. Rosie realizes that even though she was trying to give Katie every happiness, but a father's lack may never be fulfilled. Rosie looks at the picture for a long time, and then sends it to Greg. The next day when Rosie works in the hotel, suddenly Greg comes there. Rosie wanted to ignore him, but Greg starts apologizing to him. "Rosie, forget whatever happened. And forgive me. I was scared. And maybe you don't believe it. But in these 5 years, I have missed you every day. Just one last chance. 2. To be a good dad." After listening to this, Rosie says, "Okay. You will have to be a best dad for Katie." Greg agrees. And really tries to be a good dad. He starts taking full care of Rosie and Katie. And starts spending a good time with them. And in this way, he slowly comes very close to Rosie. And their bonding becomes very good. Then one day Rosie and Greg get married in the church, because this was the right decision for them. Now their small family was complete. And they were very happy. But on the other hand, the problems in Alex's life had increased. He and Sally were now separated. Because Sally was in an affair with someone else. And Rosie finds out about this when she calls to talk to Sally. Knowing this, she is very sad that Alex and Sally are now separated. And Alex didn't even tell her about this. After this, they talk on the message, where Rosie apologizes for being angry that day. Alex was very upset. And he tells Rosie that he didn't tell her about the pregnancy that day. Because that child was not his but Sally's other boyfriend. Rosie also feels very bad after hearing Alex's worries. But what could she have done? Then the story goes on for 5 years. Now Katie had grown up. And she had a very close friend. His name is Toby. Seeing him, Rosie remembers her childhood. Then one day, Rosie's parents and some relatives go on a vacation. Where Rosie's dad had always dreamed of going. After this, Rosie meets Bethany in the hotel. Who had come to stay in this hotel. Actually, Bethany was now very rich. And she used to travel to different countries often. When Rosie tells her about Alex, Bethany says, "I am going to Boston, so I will meet him there. You just give me his address." A few days later, Rosie gets a call from his mother. And she tells him that Rosie's dad has died. After this, during the funeral, the whole family is present there. And Rosie cries a lot for her dad. Alex reaches there before Rosie. Which looks very good to him. He comes to Rosie and starts to comfort her. Then Greg comes there to take Rosie. But he was not sad at all. Rather, he had drunk alcohol. And he talks to Alex in a rude way. Seeing this, Alex feels very strange. What kind of man is Rosie living with? After this, after leaving there, Alex writes a letter for Rosie. In which he has written all the things of his heart. But this letter is first in the hands of Greg. And he reads it and hides it. He reads it and hides it. Then he gives Rosie a letter from her dad who came with her. Rosie when reads her dad's last letter, she mentioned the joy of fulfilling her dreams. She told Rosie to fulfill her dreams and not forget that her dad is always with her. Rosie reads this and feels that now she too should fulfill her dreams, and her dream was to open her own hotel. The next day Alex texts Rosie, "Are you really happy with Greg?" She thought that Rosie must have gotten his letter, but Rosie says, "There was nothing like before, but yes, I am happy." Then one day Rosie comes to know that Greg has only booked a secret room at another hotel where she works. At first she thought that maybe Greg had planned some surprise for her wedding anniversary, which was due next week. But then Greg calls and tells Rosie that I have to go out for something. Take Katie to your mom. This opened the door for Rosie. Rosie suspects, so she checks it properly. And she finds out that Greg is actually cheating on her. She had booked him to spend time with another girl. After that, in anger, Rosie directly reaches Greg. And she punches Greg in front of everyone. Then she returns home and starts throwing all Greg's stuff out. And she decides that from now on, she will never be with Greg. Then she finds Alex's letter in a drawer, which Greg had hidden from her. It was written that Rosie, you deserve a life partner like this. Who loves you truly and understands you completely. I know that Katie needs a father. I don't want to interfere in your life, but Greg is not right for you. I have understood that I am right for you. That's why we should give ourselves one more chance. If you also feel the same, then please call me. But this letter was written by Alex months ago. Still, Rosie calls him immediately. But Bethany is on the call. And she finds out that Bethany and Alex are together. Because Rosie had asked Bethany to meet Alex. Now, they are not only together, but they are going to get married soon. Knowing this, she becomes very sad. When Ruby finds out all this, she starts to explain to Rosie that look Rosie. Luck is giving you a sign again and again. Alex still wants you today. And this letter is the biggest proof of it. If you don't meet him now, maybe you will lose this chance forever. Go once again and try luck for the last time. Rosie thinks that Ruby is right. She immediately leaves for Boston with her daughter Katie, her best friend Toby, and Ruby. But after deciding so far, when they reached there, Alex and Bethany had already got married. They both looked very happy. Seeing them, Rosie becomes very sad. But she somehow keeps her emotions under control. Now, the story comes back to the present, where Rosie was giving a speech at the wedding of her best friend. She says a lot about Alex and her friendship. But in the words, her heart's condition also becomes obvious. But in the end, she smiles and says that I love Alex very much. And I will always be like a friend. She is like a friend. She said this so that Alex doesn't have any problem. But Alex understood everything. Now, the dance starts at the wedding and everyone starts dancing. Meanwhile, Toby suddenly kisses Katie. Because of which Katie leaves the hall in anger and comes out. Rosie and Alex immediately go after her after seeing her. And ask her what happened. Katie says, Toby kissed me. But we are just friends like you too. So will you two ever kiss? I will tell Toby to forget all this because it is wrong. But then Alex starts to explain to Katie that look Katie. If you tell Toby today that this kiss doesn't mean anything to you, then maybe he will grow up and make this his life's mission. To marry the most beautiful girl in the world. So that he can show you how happy he is. But in reality, he will never be happy without you. Alex was telling all this to Katie. But actually, this word was for Rosie. Rosie's eyes start to see a deep understanding. And along with that, we also find out why Alex had spent time with other girls before. 12 years ago, a little kiss between them created a big misunderstanding. And their life took a different turn. Now, after so many years, they both understood what was in their heart. But what could they do now? After this, Rosie says goodbye to Alex for the last time. She returns home with her family very sad. And then comes to the city and opens a hotel within a few weeks. Just like it was her dream. After all the preparations, today is the opening day of the hotel. Where everyone is present and everyone is very happy. In the meantime, Ruby runs to Rosie and says, the customer has arrived. Let's welcome them. Rosie leaves very happy and welcomes her first guest. And gives her his room. The hotel starts well and soon another customer also arrives. But it was no one else but Alex. Rosie is shocked to see him. Alex says with a light smile, Madam, can I get a room? I don't have any luggage and I don't have anyone with me. I just left everything behind to stay here. Rosie's heart starts beating fast. Then she takes Alex to the room. Where Alex says to her, I saw a dream on the plane on the way. In which